Couple guys in first class.
Hey, I'm finally back again. Couple things before I start. Number one, I'm a little late because of the whole Nebraska got rid of Tim Miles. Can you believe that? Wow. I mean, he's been one of the best coaches Nebraska's had for a long time, in my opinion. But my opinion doesn't count for much because I'm not even a student at the University of Nebraska anymore. Also, I would like to apologize for my last video running a little long. It was my first attempt. We did it on location, and it was a lot of video, a lot of the flood damage, that kind of stuff. So it ran a little long. Most of these thoughts from Flyover country are not going to be that long. So just thought I'd get those two things out of the way and move on to today's topic. Hey, I've had this question for years. Ever since the whole Trump collusion theory hit the airwaves, I've had this question. Because the whole Trump collusion thing never made a lick of sense to me right from the start. I couldn't understand why that would be like a thing. Why would there be this whole Russian collusion thing in Trump's name? The whole thing was a racket. Here we are, 2 years later, investigations galore, and 25 million taxpayer dollars out the window to find out what a lot of us already knew: there was no Trump-Russia collusion. And to this day, no one has answered my basic question. Okay? I've asked, I don't know how many people I've asked, but here's the question. Why would Putin throw Hillary under the bus for Trump? Nobody can answer that. It doesn't make any sense, and nobody has ever bothered to try to answer that. I don't even think the Mueller investigation even asked that question, and that is the most basic foundational question for the whole investigation. Why? It doesn't make sense. You have, on one hand, a candidate for president of a country that maybe you want to influence. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I'm not Putin. But maybe you want to influence the United States. On one hand, you have a candidate, and she's all about, hey, pay for play? No problem. You want to buy 20% of our uranium? Here. Just make sure you make a nice donation to the Clinton Foundation. I mean, all you had to do was cough up a few bucks and you had all the influence you want. And that's just when she was Secretary of State. She get to be president, sky's the limit, right? On the other hand, you have a candidate who's sitting there running on drain the swamp, end corruption, stop this nonsense of pay for play, get rid of that whole underlying muck slop, get it out of the swamp, drain it, get rid of it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm done with it. So you've got one candidate advocating no pay for play, no corruption. Let's get this country back on an even keel. I speak for the American people. And you've got the other candidate, and it's like, well, you put a nice little honorarium in the Clinton Foundation Fund, and we'll work something out. Now, if you're a foreign leader and you want to influence the government of a country, which of those two candidates are you going to throw your weight behind? The one who's going to be the pit bull and come back and bite you? or the lapdog that you already have in your pocket because you've already donated millions of dollars to Clinton's campaign or the Clinton Foundation. Not, well, kind of the same thing. No one, not one single individual has ever been able to answer that question at all, except for a couple of really truly uninformed liberals out there who really didn't believe that the Clinton Foundation was funneling money into Hillary's campaign, that thought that the whole Uranium One deal was a huge right-wing conspiracy, and thought that Hillary Clinton was pure and clean as the driven snow. You got to drink a lot of Kool-Aid to come up with that, but that's, just asking that question is how I would have started the investigation and quite possibly saved the American people $25 million in the process. But I'm pretty sure that the answer is not what the Clinton campaign, the Democratic Party, or the extreme left wing of the political arm of the United States really wanted to hear. And it's probably the number one reason why the mainstream media never asked the question. Well, those are my thoughts from Flyover Country this week. And I've got a whole bunch of topics coming up here. Oh, wow. A lot of topics. Wow. So, till next time, I'm John Robinson, and I've got your thoughts from Flyover Country.